I felt bad for how good my life was there, because you never quite completely forget where you came from. And this whole time that I'm living away from home, I'm aware of how hard it is for people back home. And I'm just out here in Europe doing comedy and going to orgies and shit. I felt like a selfish person. The UK is a very conservative country. A lot of people here are very afraid of immigrants. And speaking as an immigrant, y'all should be more afraid. Like, we're the worst. We really are. We're the most selfish people from our respective places. We're the ones that left everyone else behind on purpose. Think about what kind of a sociopath you need to be. Like, you're born in your place, and it's a little rough, but it's home. Your friends you grew up with, your family, everyone you've ever loved is from this place. But you're like, nah, fuck all of these people. I want Amazon Prime. I'm leaving. I'm too good for this. You never quite forget completely, though. Like you especially with Sri Lanka, you get consistent reminders. Like I remember in 2019, I got a call from my mother on what I thought was a random Monday. She had a very solemn tone in her voice, and she told me that there'd been a terrorist attack in Sri Lanka the day before. It's on Easter Sunday, targeting multiple churches around the country. She said no friends and family were hurt. I put down the phone. And then I just wanted to get some basic facts on the situation. And I tried to look on news sites. I couldn't find anything. I went to the Asia-Pacific section. I couldn't find anything. And the only thing I could find, even in the vicinity of Sri Lanka, was that a new species of jellyfish-like creature called the sea squirt had recently been discovered in the Indian Ocean. And I saw this and I was reassured because at least I knew that no white people had been hurt in the attacks. And from being from Sri Lanka, you get used to that. We know we have a minimum death toll to make the news out here. We're aware. But this time made me feel a certain way because y'all remember a few years back when the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris started burning and the whole world made a big fuss? That was just a few weeks before these bombings in Sri Lanka. It made me so angry that on one day, multiple buildings, hundreds of people were killed and thousands were injured, and nobody cared. But a week before that, a European building, no people, just building. Not even the whole thing, just the pointy part. Started burning. And the entire world lost its shit. It was wild. I looked it up a month later, and apparently the cathedral had raised over $2 billion for its restoration. Billion with a B. And Sri Lanka's various efforts had raised a few $100,000, which isn't nothing, but it just shows you what people's priorities are. Instead of possibly touching the lives of hundreds of children, they'd rather help restore a building where hundreds of children probably got touched. It's a bit conflicting, where people want to... I'm always worried about that one. It was real sad when this happened, though, because the war ended in 2009. There was nearly a whole decade of peace, and then this happened, and it started sort of sparking racial tensions in the country again to the extent where now we have militant Buddhist terrorists back home. And these men have no idea how stupid they sound. It's very off-brand. Like, I was raised Buddhist. I still consider myself Buddhist. It's a very chill religion. It's mostly just some bum's high thoughts translated into profound-sounding nonsense. Like one of our core tenets is that all life is suffering, and you escape this suffering by detaching yourself from your earthly desires, which is just a very fancy way of saying, like, shit happens, bro. Like, just let it go, man. Just go touch an elephant. It'll be fine. Relax. Just... Terrible uniform for a terrorist group as well. Orange robes. I feel like it's very difficult to inspire fear when you have the same color scheme as Fanta. It's a bit silly. It's a hard sell. Their logic is that they think they're trying to protect Buddhism from other religions on the island that are trying to take over Sri Lanka's religious life, like Islam or Christianity. And I agree with them to an extent. I, too, am trying to protect Buddhism. I think they're trying to protect it from the wrong people. I am trying to protect Buddhism from middle-class white women. Because they are trying to do to Buddhism what they did to hummus and yoga, and I will not allow it. All right? Their power is not to be trifled with. These are a dangerous group. I swear, the most dangerous neighborhoods in the world have fallen to their might. They took Brooklyn in New York, they took Brixton in London. They'll take Buddhism in Sri Lanka. It won't be, if anything, that's all we needed. The government and the army has been trying for decades, and all we ever needed was a few Tarquins and Clementines to go over there and clean shit up. And in a few years, you'll hear people saying things like, yeah, Sri Lanka used to be dangerous, but a friend just came back and said the vibe was really chill. Just Buddhist, it bothers me though. It really does. Like, how are you even going to be militantly Buddhist? Like, you're just really, really chill. You just storm public places, like everybody on the ground right now. Surprise group meditation. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is stupid. Just corner a guy, like, breathe in and out. This is dumb. This is rogue behavior.